The mother of a 14-year-old boy who suffers from neurofibromatosis is pleading for an end to the bullying of her son. The teenager from Randfontein on the West Rand has been living with the rare condition which causes tumors to form on the nerves of the body. His face has been deformed and he struggles to speak and eat.
Mahlatsi Marema was diagnosed with neurofibromatosis when he was 3 years old. His mother says his condition continues to worsen despite numerous surgeries and visits to different hospitals.
First operation, it was 2017.
The hospital explained to me that the condition has no cure. He had his first operation in 2017, but it did not help. The tumor then continued to grow. He then had another one in 2018. It has affected his speech and his tongue keeps growing. I do not know what to do anymore.
Affected speech, le body ina le di spots like le lemela gola like kora kitsiketseng.
According to Marema, the 14-year-old is bullied due to his deformities.
It's hard life ya high Mahlatsi because of like lo godlala sometimes I have free ko baneng ba bang godlala.
His life is difficult. He's not always free to go play with other children. When he leaves the house, I get worried about what he might face in the streets.
Those who have watched the teenager struggle with the genetic disorder are also concerned.
If there's anyone how can we get that assistance, please come forward.
If there's anyone who knows how we can get help, please come forward so that Mahlatsi can live a normal life like other children. His self-esteem is low when he walks in the streets.
Mahlatsi's mother remains hopeful that the grade 4 learner will get the right treatment and be able to live a life without challenges. Nerea Hlakotsa, SABC News, Randfontein, West Rand.
And joining us to unpack this further is Likho Bottoman in the Department of Basic Education's Director for Social Cohesion. Likho, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Quite a harrowing story there, the experience of that 14-year-old child who is being bullied in school, but clearly quite literally needs additional support. In what ways does the Department of Education typically approach such situations and cases, and what support does the department extend to families and children who are experiencing rare conditions which makes their learning experience a little bit more difficult than what it ordinarily should be?
Thank you so much, Oliver, for having us. I think, Oliver, it's also very horrific for us as the Department of Basic Education to discover that there is still something like the stigmatization of different illnesses and different conditions that children come with to school. Because as far as our curriculum is concerned in life orientation and life skills, it prepares children to be able to understand that certain people live with particular conditions and that different diversities and all of those variances of people's images. We teach children about body image and all of those things because we understand that at some point they're going to come across people who are living with different conditions and they need to not stigmatize one another. There's a great deal of work that we do even outside of the classroom, which prepares children for a non-discriminatory and a non-prejudiced human rights.
Tell us about some of that work, Likho. What work exactly is being done outside of the classroom environment to prepare learners for such?
So what we do is we do school community engagements about these issues. So we look at different markers of identity, Oliver, from race to gender to sexual orientation to disability, so to even medical conditions, all different kinds of markers, of different identity markers of people. Because that kind of work that you do, we understand that the classroom does not offer us enough time to go through the length and the breadth of the different diversities that other children come with, including children of foreign nationality and for a national identity. And so we prepare then children. So what we do outside.
Describe to me what the typical school community engagement session looks like. Do you bring in external moderators or external experts or teachers or experts into the school environment? How exactly is it conducted?
So the way that it happens at the moment is that we always rely on our innate capacity and ability to do that, because we believe that we've got an efficiently trained teacher workforce for us to be able to do.
When you say we, you mean the existing teachers in the school?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you're a life orientation and a life skills educator at school, it means then that you would be capacitated to deliver on these anti-discriminatory engagements in your school. We also then, beyond the teachers, we also then capacitate learner leaders, like your representative councils of learners that only exist then in secondary schools, for them to also run what we call awareness raising campaigns about different issues, Oliver.
Okay, and do you guys track the impact of the anti-discriminatory engagements coupled with the school community engagements? How do you measure the impact of it?
So there are barometers that the government of South Africa runs about impact. And these barometers are looking at social cohesion and nation building. So they're looking at how far South Africans are in terms of discrimination experiences in households, in communities, but also then in our schools. And so there are particular empirical studies that help us to do that. But we also do collect anecdotal information from our schools, which gives us a sense about what we need to do and where we need to focus our energies when it comes to this type of work.
Yeah, the precarity of anecdotal data is that it's not always particularly reliable because it's not empirical in its nature. But to this, this learners...
If you're looking at a school environment,
sure.
If you trickle down to a school community, Oliver, it tells you a very big story, because many of these issues that deal with bullying and discrimination and prejudice actually have got a lot to do with what is happening in that school context rather than a national picture.
Yeah, in an instance where you have an extraordinary circumstance, like the child we just covered who has neurofibromatosis, which is a clearly visible condition, right? It's not a particularly common condition, but it's clearly visible and distressing. And a parent in a family reports of continued bullying. Is there something more proactive that the department, either at a district, provincial, or at a national level, could and should be doing to intervene in that school or in that situation?
Yeah, it's such a heartbreaking experience that this child is experiencing, Oliver. And I think what we'll need to do immediately after today, we're going to have to really go down to the level of the school as the Department of Basic Education, working together with the Provincial Education Department, so that we go to that school, because all that needed to happen at this school was that the sooner the child who enrolls at the school appears with a different or a diverse body image to the school, they needed to do what we call sensitization of the school, because we needed to be proactive and pre-bank rather than debunk the condition that the child is coming with, because it's rare, as you can see or hear. It is rare. Many people may not have been exposed to it, and so there's a level of work that the school at the school level needed to do to sensitize other children, to sensitize other teachers about the condition, and so that we can also understand what kind of support and mutually beneficial support that we need to give to our fellow learner, so that the fellow learner feels welcome at our school, because that's what we strive for.
Yeah, Likho, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Likho is the Director of Social Cohesion at the Department of Basic Education.